Hey, this is episode 1 of I don't know how many episodes that we're going to do, but this is an attempt to go and look behind the scenes of putting on a cycling team. 2019 is the first year that I have been an owner of a cycling team. I think I've bit off a little more than I can chew, and this has been already to this point, the first race hasn't even gone off, and it's been a lot. And so this is an attempt to try to really show what's involved with all this. I started cycling in 2010, and in 2011 I joined my first team, Central Sierra Cyclists. Steve Grusis ran an amazing development program. You had to buy your kits, and you actually had to pay your own dues. The support and the information, the encouragement was just so amazing. There was a lot of knowledgeable guys on that squad. Once I became a Cat 3 or a Cat 4, I wanted to start racing a little bit more competitively and with guys my own age. So then I joined Integrity Racing. Got really spoiled with Integrity Racing because there was a good budget. I was getting all my races paid for, 100% race payback plus kits. Also, we had a good group of guys. 2015 was the best year for cycling for me ever. It was a year where Tony, Nick, Ryan, and Chaz and I were just running it on the local scene with this team. It was phenomenal, and it really showed just how amazing a good camaraderie of guys can be when you're racing with them. It completely changes the dynamic of racing because you 40th place can feel like a win to you if you helped your guy or helped your team. It was so cool. We went 1, 2, 3, 4 in a couple races, but Nick Baird and Tony Wolf got really good, and so then they actually got called up to a better team, Cortex. So they left, then Integrity ran out of money. And so they kind of shut that whole race side down, and I was left without a home and where to race. Michael David Winery was extremely gracious, and that deal was phenomenal because I was used to 100% race payback plus kits. So that's kind of rare, honestly. And so then in 2016, I did my first year racing as a Cat 2 with Michael David Winery. There wasn't a whole lot of Cat 2 or Cat 1s on that team at the time, so most of my racing there was by myself. 2017, I renewed again with them because, again, man, 100% race payback plus kits that's a substantial amount of money. It's a substantial investment. And as at that time in 2017, man, money is not, it's difficult, dude. It's really expensive to go racing. I had some friends there, and the idea was for 2018 to actually make a legit team out of Michael David, a legit 1-2 squad, right? 4, 5, 6 guys, and we're racing all the time. So that was the plan going into 2018, and it just, life gets in the way for a lot of people, and it didn't end up happening. I did get a few races with Dustin, Chico, and the Bump. But other than that, it was, again, another year just racing by myself. And again, I'm just not strong enough. My skill sets don't lend to being the hero, right? I can bring you a water bottle, I can lead you out, I can chase something down, but going out there and being the one to win without any team support, it was really difficult. And so it led me to, how can we change this? How can we make something better? How can I sort of be in control of something? I want to get a good group of guys around me. And so this is where it started turning the gears, right? Right around August of 2018. I got on the phone with Adam from SP2 Life, the SP2, the spirulina, the protein recovery pods that I'm just a huge fan of. I was telling him, hey, dude, what about a team? Is this something that you might want to think about? And so we started that conversation. We started down the line of bringing him on as a title sponsor. And now a title sponsor, depending on, I don't know what other teams are looking at, but $20,000, $20,000 is what a title sponsor budget would be, then you're also going to be looking at getting other side sponsors as well, which is crazy. It's crazy to go and ask someone for 20 grand for 1 year. The problem was, I had a few people that were interested in putting some money towards a team, but I had no squad, I had no crew, right? And so then it's really difficult because like, we'll give you money if you have a team. And then you go and ask guys and you're like, hey, will you be on this team? They're like, well, we'll be on your team if you have money. So my plan was to actually put a new roof over an existing house, right? Find a team that already is doing well, that already is out there, already has good team dynamic, and let's just put a new sponsor on you, right? So keep everything, add me to the roster, let me bring some support, let me bring some sponsors, and dude, let's kill this. So then I started reaching out to a bunch of the local teams that just are been crushing me, right? Just destroying me. Asking like, hey, what about making this connection? Or either A, let me just be on your team, or B, how about we restructure this and I bring in a really big sponsor and we do this. It didn't go well. It didn't go well. I talked to a lot of teams about this, and most of them, they already have what they have, and they didn't want to make any changes to it. And then SP2 wanted a solid team. They did not want me and the local janitor, right? They didn't want to spend $20,000 to be a title sponsor if we're not going to be able to win. And that's hard. So I had ran through pretty much any option that I had to try to put something together. I messaged Timmy, who I had actually guest rode for Oaks Central Valley Bank at San Rafael. And I think I just shot him a text like, is there any thought about maybe you and your squad getting a new sponsor, like if I brought a sponsor on? And I didn't think it was gonna be a go at all. And he actually texted back and was like, dude, we just basically lost our title sponsor. We're probably not going to be able to have a team going forward, or at least there's going to be some major restructuring going on. So absolutely, perfect timing. So I jump on the phone with Timmy and I'm like, bro, what? And it just seemed like we could take Oak Valley Bank's existing team and do exactly what I wanted to do, which was sort of put a new roof on it, change up the kits, but keep their dynamic, right? Because they had some really good guys. And a lot of these guys already have been racing together. So it was just the perfect, it was like, bro, this is it. This is going to be it. Now, I also really wanted to have some guys local to me, and I wanted to race with guys that I knew. So Terence and Chaz, they were my first go-to, like, hey, I want you to be a part of this. So I have Timmy and Cameron come down, and Chaz and Terence, we all go for a ride. We actually did this, like, grizzly loop. It was phenomenal. And this was before we really even kind of fleshed this whole thing out. And still a lot of the guys that were going to be on the team weren't there. They couldn't make it, but it was just a start. And so we felt it out. We had this really amazing ride. So Chaz had the KOM on that climb, and I stole it. I stole it straight up too. Like, I wasn't drafting nobody.
Yeah, he was on your wheel.
Yeah, everyone was on my wheel. I thought for sure you guys were just like chilling, like not even suffering. And then you guys were gonna blow past me, and I was gonna be so bummed if you guys just blew past me and dropped me. Man, that's feeling good. So give me your thoughts. You've never ridden these roads before?
No, it's super cool. I mean, super fun descents, nice little climb. No, longer climbs, just gradual and killer views.
But so one of the biggest components, again, is having the ability to win a race. Josh Carling is our star guy, and he didn't want to just completely leave some of his support that he had had in 2018 high and dry. There was the Tough Brothers and the White Brothers. Both had really supported him in lead-outs. You know, our budget was really only for 6 guys. But that was essentially only with one sponsor, right? That was with SP2, basically committing to around 12 to 15,000, depending on how the year went. Because that was like, you know, they didn't want to just invest all this money right up front, give me 20 grand when we have no proof of concept of the team whatsoever. And then, like, what happens? We never race. And it was a very hard situation to get that sponsor, to get SP2 to even trust that we were going to do what we were going to do. Was going to be fine for 6 guys. We needed Josh, and he was like, these other guys need support. But when all said is done, we end up having a roster of 12 guys. So we need some more money. For sure, we need some more money, and we need some serious support. Oak Valley Central Bank, who was the title sponsor of their team in 2018, they came on as a co-sponsor, co-title sponsor, essentially. Not title sponsor money, but we got them fully on the legs, and Chris, who was like running that, he was such a good sport about it and wanting to give money to this cause. So that closed the gap a little bit. Then my coach, Tony, he said that he would throw in some money, man. And so my coach threw in $2,000, basically to have a little arm logo, you know what I mean? Most of the time in cycling, when someone sponsors a team, it is almost a donation, right? It's very hard to get return on investment with cycling sponsors. And then at the last minute, we got a coffee sponsor, a small cash sponsor from High Top Coffee. So 4 cash sponsors: SP2 Life, Oak Central Valley Bank, ATP Coaching, and High Top Coffee. Ride Bikes Clothing, that's my personal brand. I put a little logo on the back, but basically that is like, I'm going to be putting my own money onto this just for all like small things and just time and effort, right? We're also able to pick up a good deal with SIS, or Science and Sport, for nutrition. No cash, but pretty much not unlimited product, but you know, we're not going to have to spend any money to feed ourselves. The other big part was Eliel. I had reached out to them a long time ago and was like wanting to do a team, but it had to be the right scenario. And so I came to them like, this is it, man. This is the right scenario. This is the right time. But when I signed a deal with Eliel for the team, at the time, it was only a 6-man squad. So, you know, now that we have 12, it was difficult, but they definitely helped us with the kits. The kits are extremely expensive. That can be a humongous part of the team's expenditure. So, boom, we have the guys. We have the money. We have the kits. Not quite yet. It took a long time to get into the design process, and we were really late on finalizing some of the sponsors. I did get some proofs of the kits, and we kind of went back and forth on that for a while. So a mini marker is basically like, so here's the design of the kit, right? So we went through a couple different revisions of the actual design, and then they are printing the logos on fabric. So then you can really see how the logos come out. I know that my coach's logo, that's gonna look good. You know what I mean? That's the front, that's the back. That's like the armband right there. So you can see the logos, right? We can really see how those come out. Oak Valley Bank, they are a secondary sponsor. The leg bands sort of have this cool look, stripe to them. That's the butt patch, powered by algae, SP2 Life. Like you see this issue here, raw, and then that logo is kind of messed up. But this is definitely something, you know, you're happy that you print this on this versus printing it actually on, you know, 30 kits. Like to go back to SP2 and be like, hey, we messed up your logo. Give us another 15,000. So that's done. Now we got to do some team building. So we're planning on a team camp. and we actually piggybacked off the slow training camp.
Bottles? We popping bottles? Look.
This house costs $1,200 for Thursday to Monday. The bummer is that you check in at 5 and then you check out at what, 10? 11? So Thursday and Monday they're like barely days, but I'm having to pay for those on my own money. So there's a balance of the budget. Okay, so we have a set budget for the year, and a team camp, dude, is a good chunk of that budget. So you got to like balance on how much is that going to be effective? And I think that for a new team, getting everyone together for a few days to build that camaraderie will pay great dividends for the year. Day 1 of team camp, we are riding 95 miles. It's a big day today. Saturday was an amazing day. I mean, the slow training camp is just phenomenal, but the fact that we had like our team there, it was not all the guys, but most of them, so awesome. So then we hit a gravel section, and we're like, hey, let's kind of do a team lead out on this, right? Let's be a team right now. And we just lined it out, dude. We have our full squad lined out on this gravel road and just setting fire to this road, bro. Greg had his GoPro on, and he was kind of at the back of the pack, and so it was really neat to watch as guys were just getting, dude, just shelled out of this. But I basically, just for me, had a full-on lead out up this gravel road. Timmy was the last one on the front, and then I sent it with about half to go. But I got to the top and was just like, dude, yes, like that is fun, bro. That is what I want. That is what I've been missing, is this team camaraderie of just, it's the boys and we're all working for one main goal. Whew, it was so good. Come Sunday, we went out for our own little personal team training camp. Then we played bikes on the way back, and so we separated the guys into 2 teams, and it was like, you know, okay, you got to get your sprinter to the finish line before we get our sprinter. I went off solo. I'm not the sprinter on our little crew, but we had this little like neat dynamic, and so I ended up soloing all the way to the end, and they were all playing games in the back, but it was like this really neat moment where we're building camaraderie, we're building trust with each other. And at the end of that ride, at the end of the whole weekend, stoke levels were through the roof. I think everyone was just like, yes, dude, like these are good guys. I can really see myself, dude, slaying it with these guys. Currently, as this is being filmed, we do not have a helmet sponsor. We do not have a sunglass sponsor. We don't have a bike sponsor. Obviously, you want to have the best of the best. You want to be like the pro teams, like Mike's Bikes, who everyone's looking identical. everyone's on the same stuff. You know, the deal that I'm trying to offer everyone is races paid for and kits paid for to an extent, a certain amount of them paid for. And that's just, you know, with 12 guys, man, that's really expensive. Dude, it's crazy how fast the money goes when you're talking about that. I am still frantically trying to get deals with helmets and sunglasses and potentially even some more cash sponsors. As I'm filming this, I don't have the kits yet. I'm going to get them Tuesday or Wednesday, and our first race is this weekend. So yeah, I'm stoked. I am really happy with kind of being the head of this. It's a lot of work. It's not something where, you know, I've been on the other end where it's like, hey, write me that check for my race, please. You know, like, get me that money now. And now that I'm the one that's having to write those checks, essentially, it's nerve-wracking for sure. But I think we're going to do really good, and I'm really, really, really excited about it. All the future episodes of this will be much more action-packed because they're going to be really diving into certain aspects and maybe covering a few race weekends all at one, you know, in one episode. Here's to an amazing 2019. As always, Vegan Cyclist. You!